This world is one great battlefield with forces all arrayed. If in my heart I do not yield, I'll overcome someday. I'll overcome someday. I'll overcome someday. If in my heart I do not yield, I'll overcome someday.
Juneteenth, also known as Freedom Day or Emancipation Day, is the oldest known celebration commemorating the end of slavery in the United States. President Abraham Lincoln's Emancipation Proclamation went into effect January 1st, 1863. It wasn't until June 19th, 1865, when the Union Army brought word of the proclamation to enslaved people in Galveston, Texas, making them among the last to be freed. Juneteenth has become not only a time to commemorate Black liberation from the institution of slavery, but also a time to highlight the resilience, solidarity, and culture of the Black community.
By the President of the United States of America, a proclamation. Whereas on the 22nd day of September in the year of our Lord 1862, a proclamation was issued by the President of the United States containing, among other things, the following, to wit, quote, that on the first day of January in the year of our Lord 1863, all persons held as slaves within any state or designated part of a state, the people whereof shall then be in rebellion against the United States, shall be then, thenceforward, and forever free.
President Lincoln's Emancipation Proclamation, that freed enslaved people in the secessionist states, had gone into effect on January 1, 1863. The 13th Amendment, abolishing slavery, had passed the U.S. Congress in January 1865 and was being ratified by the states. Robert E. Lee, the Confederate military leader, had surrendered his army at Appomattox, Virginia, on April 9, 1865. Even though enslaved people in the South were declared free in 1863, word didn't reach the enslaved people in Texas until June 19, 1865, the day that General Gordon Granger of the Union Army and his federal troops arrived in Galveston, Texas, with the intention of forcing slave owners to release their slaves. On that day, Major General Granger read Federal General Order No. 3 from the balcony of his Ashton Villa headquarters in Galveston, Texas, proclaiming that all enslaved people in Texas were free. The news of freedom led to masses of African Americans rejoicing in celebration of their freedom. Many crowded courthouses to get licenses to legally marry. And, according to historical accounts, some threw away their tattered clothing and dressed in clothes taken from their former owners. Annual celebrations on June 19th grew as African Americans celebrated, with music, rodeos, barbecues, fishing, and other activities. These celebrations almost always focused on education and self-improvement, guest speakers, and prayer services. And, as African Americans migrated from Texas to other parts of the country, they took their Freedom Festival with them. Juneteenth Juneteenth is not a holiday simply because of General Granger's order. It exists because African American Texans celebrated it for years, decades, more than a century and a half, in the teeth of Jim Crow segregation and racist violence, in the unyielding belief that someday, we, as a people, will overcome. On January 1, 1980, through the efforts of Al Edwards, an African American state legislator and civil rights activist, Texas became the first state in America to recognize Juneteenth as an official statewide holiday. On June 17, 2021, Juneteenth became the 11th national holiday recognized by the federal government. The United States Senate, on June 15, passed a bill to recognize the day, and the House approved the measure the next day. President Joseph Biden signed the bill into law on June 17, 2021.